Now, incineration, the word incineration, incinerators are so unpopular with the public, they keep changing the name. And when I got involved in '85, they called resource recovery facilities. George Orwell, where are you? Resource recovery facilities instead of resource destruction. Then it was waste to energy. In England, it's energy from waste. In France, it's thermal valorization. In Italy, it's termovalorizzazione. And now they're coming in with a new one, which is gasifiers, pyrolyzers, plasma arc facilities. They're all the rage. But they're incinerators in disguise because they involve two steps. The first step is converting the solid waste to a gas, and the second step is to burn the gas. And when you burn the gas, then you get virtually the same problems as you have with incineration. And the sales hype, now we're getting very close to Aquilini and the Vancouver Canucks. The sales hype versus reality. The claims: pollution-free, zero emissions, proven to be safe, zero waste, a new way to recycle, waste is renewable energy, not incineration, alternative to landfills. These are some of the claims. The reality: you've heard about Thermoselect, built in 1999 or 8, closed down in 2004. It's since been demolished, and you can't find it anymore. Bright Star in Wollongong, Australia. I visited this plant, they wouldn't let me in. Nor would they give you the dioxin emissions. But that was also closed in April of 2004 because of financial and technical problems. That facility no longer exists. And then we have Pasco. You've heard about the 100-ton-a-day facility. They've been aggressively marketing this technology all over North America, Canada, the United States, even in Italy. I've had to confront this Plasco, the paper industry in Lucca, near Lucca. Boccari wants to build a gasification plant. We're busy fighting that. Now, the Plasco Chief Executive Officer, Rod Bryden, who I debated in Ottawa, says the filter ash goes back into the furnace. Oh my God. Doesn't he realize if you put the filter ash back into the furnace, then any mercury that you've captured at least goes straight through the system. In other words, there is no sink for the mercury other than the air if you burn the filter ash. You've got to take the filter ash away to benefit from the capture. Secondly, he says, a system produces no dioxin because there's no oxygen available. Give me a break. They're burning waste. The first bottle that goes in there is full of air. There's lots of air in trash. And so to say that there's no dioxin because there's no oxygen present is absolute baloney, chemical baloney. System destroys nanoparticles. Oh, everybody will be thrilled about that. Send your nanoparticles to Ottawa. They destroy them. Slag to be used in asphalt and concrete. Please tell me which buildings you build with their slag, because I don't want to live in them. Salt to be used on roads. Sulfur to be used in agriculture. Well, you heard what happened with Thermoselect. They promised all the same things, and all of these products had to be treated as hazardous waste, hazardous industrial waste. The Department of Public Works, you've already heard this, that you heard their judgment on Plasco. Okay, switch gears. Even if you made incineration safe, you had a place to put the ash, which was okay, and you captured all the air pollution, you still wouldn't make it sensible. It simply does not make sense to spend so much money in the 21st century destroying resources we should be sharing with the future. The modern incinerator is attempting to perfect a bad idea. Our task in the 21st century is not to find better ways to destroy discarded materials. Our task is to stop making packaging and products that have to be destroyed. There is a better alternative. It's the zero waste strategy. The waste problem will not be solved with better technology. There is no magic machine to solve the waste problem. It's not a technological problem. It's a social problem. It's going to be solved with better organization, better education, and better industrial design. Waste is a design problem. Nature is brilliant. Nature makes no waste, otherwise we'd be knee-deep in giraffe manure by now. Waste is a human invention. Zero waste is an idealistic goal. I mean, let's get at that up.
Oh, zero waste, Dr. Connett talks about zero waste. So idealistic, pie in the sky.
So let's let's say, yes, it is an idealistic goal, so is sustainability. There's a moral imperative. But Zero Waste 2020 puts this goal into a realistic time frame. We're not talking about doing it tomorrow, even 5 years from now. We're talking about 11 years from now, we're going to be close to zero waste. At least we should try. What we are doing is trying to move in a new direction. Take waste out of the dictionary. Take the acceptance of waste out of our lives. We've got to move from the back end of waste management to the front end of industrial design. To achieve zero waste, we need industrial responsibility at the front end, we need community responsibility at the back end, and we need good political leadership to link the two together. And we certainly don't need politicians in Vancouver who talk about zero waste and talk about sustainability at the same time that they're talking about building 6 incinerators. They can't have it both ways. If you want the rhetoric, then you better match the reality to that rhetoric or stop using the rhetoric. At least be honest. Say in Vancouver, we are not able to move towards sustainability. We can't afford to move towards sustainability. So we say, screw sustainability. We're going to continue to destroy resources. That would be an honest thing to do. But don't pretend you've got a zero waste program when you don't. When you're absolutely sabotaging zero waste. Now, zero waste can be approached with a series of steps which are simple, practical, cost-effective, and politically acceptable. Let's start with community responsibility. And by the way, I'm very conscious of the fact that Christina Lake has a nice program here. You're doing a lot of this. So I'm preaching to the converted on this, but I'm going to take it a few steps further. So it begins with source separation. We need education for separation to avoid incineration. We need 1 or 2 containers for compostables, the organic fraction. That is the most important. We need those organics back into the soil. The organics are the things which cause a terrible problem in landfills, and it's also a big fraction of the waste stream, and it's relatively easy to handle. 1 or more containers for the recyclables, 1 container for the residuals. In San Francisco, they have the fantastic 3. These are collected once a week. 1 for the recyclables, 1 for the compostables, 1 for the residuals. In Italy, they go 1 step forward. They have the fantastic 4. In their case, they pick up different materials in the same truck on different days. So on Mondays, everybody puts out their organics. Tuesdays, their mixed recyclables, and so on. Back to San Francisco. The organics go to a composting facility. Here it is, surrounded by farmland. The farmers use the compost to grow fruit, vegetables, and wine and send it back to San Francisco. The recyclables go to a huge recycling plant built on Pier 96. San Francisco population 850,000, very little space, 50% diverted by 2000, 63% diverted by 2004, 70% diverted by 2008. They're now up to 72%. Their goal for 2010 is 75%. Their goal for 2020 is 100% or zero waste, or darn close. Now, if San Francisco can do that, with such little space, with such a large population, with so many high-rise buildings, and where they have to educate people in 3 languages, English, Spanish, and Chinese, then surely any city in the world could do it. We have to minimize the residual fraction. That's what we can do with recycling and composting. Now, we can minimize the residual fraction with waste reduction initiatives, reuse, repair, and deconstruction, economic incentives. Waste reduction initiatives. Undesirable packaging. Okay? We all know what that is. We've got 4 options. 1, ban it. 2, tax it. 3, put a deposit on it. Or 4, avoid it. So there are a few choices for us to discuss here. In Ireland, they put a 15-cent tax on plastic shopping bags. Nobody had much hope that that would do anything, but in 1 year they reduced the use of those plastic shopping bags by 92%. In Italy, they have supermarkets which allow people to refill their shampoo bottles and detergent bottles, and those heavy-grade plastic bottles go round and round and round many, many times. And they do the same for wine, water, and milk. Here's a dispensing system so you can refill your own plastic bottle with water. Here's what they say. A little creativity at the front end saves millions at the back end. And talking about the back end, one of the communities I'm helping has persuaded, when they found that a big fraction of the residual fraction was actually disposable diapers, they're encouraging everybody to use reusable diapers. In fact, the local pharmacies are giving away the first reusable diaper to new parents.